easier. So in order to do this, I have asked my colleague at Uchee Pines, Rhonda Clark, to be with me today. And Rhonda, welcome to the program. And I'd like to find out what you do at Uchee Pines.
Well, I work in the Lifestyle Center in the office doing telephone counseling with people who call with medical questions.
Very good. You have a qualified background for that in being an RN.
Yes.
Very good. You'll talk with us about something concerning stress today.
Yes. Some of you may have heard the saying, exercise neutralizes stress. And I wanted to share today a little bit about why that is so. Indeed, exercise is the perfect antidote for stress. But to understand why, we need to understand a little bit about what happens physiologically to us as we undergo stress. When we see or are exposed to something that elicits a stress response to us, our body makes stress hormones. Adrenaline, noradrenaline are a couple of examples. These pour into our bloodstream and they make our muscles tense so that we have quicker reaction times. They make our senses keener. They suppress the digestive system so more blood and energy can be provided to the muscular system, and raise our blood pressure, our heart rate, our respiratory rate. Even our blood sugar elevates to provide more fuel for muscles. This is gearing our bodies up for what you may have heard of, fight or flight. In prolonged stress conditions, another stress hormone called cortisol is released. Cortisol continues to keep the blood sugar level elevated to continue providing a source of fuel. But it does another interesting thing. It makes the cells themselves resistant to insulin. Insulin is a hormone that takes glucose into the cell to be used for fuel. And I liken it to under an emergency situation, gathering the resources, but then putting the cells on rations because the body interprets this stressor as a long haul. If stress is prolonged, disease conditions can result. If you're constantly elevated blood pressure with stress, you can develop a chronic hypertension. The constant levels of elevated blood sugar can lead to diabetes, weight gain. The muscle tension leads to chronic headaches, chronic aching and pain syndromes, TMJ, where the jaw muscle is tight and grinding the teeth at night. These are things that can result. The suppression of the digestive system can lead to ulcers, constipation, or chronic conditions of the abdomen. So, why then this exercise so effective? Exercise is the perfect neutralizer of stress because it does the very thing that the body has been gearing up to do. The body has been gearing up to fight or to escape the stressor, both of which are physically active responses. When we have a normal stress reaction, something frightens us or gives us stress, these stress hormones come into our body, into our bloodstream. As we have the opportunity to escape or get away from the stressor, these hormones are burned off and we return to a normal state. In chronic stress, we have the stressor, but we get hung up in this cycle. We have more of these hormones pumping in constantly with no relief. Exercise brings the relief. When we exercise, our body undergoes the same physiologic conditions it does under stress. With exercise, our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, our respiratory rate goes up, our blood sugar is elevated temporarily for the purpose of helping us burn it off. Our senses are keener, our muscles react more quickly. Exercise begins that same cycle, but brings it around to completion. When we exercise, we burn off those stress hormones, we burn off that extra blood sugar, and bring our body back down to a normal state. If we exercise regularly, we begin to condition our body to respond better to stress, to more easily recover from stressors. So this is why exercise is such a perfect antidote to stress. Not only after exercise you may have noticed that you feel warm and relaxed, you have a clear mind. In addition to just helping to get relief, a good exercise session helps you sweat, which helps relieve waste from the body. Time spent out exercising can be time that you commune with the Lord or process through things that are giving you stress. So for many reasons, exercise is a perfect antidote for stress, Dr. Thrash, and I appreciate the opportunity to share that with you today.
Yes, it's a very needed thing, and people need to understand that exercise can indeed neutralize stress.